Hi everyone, this is Alan Rosinski of Metro Manhattan Office Space. Good afternoon. Well, it looks like if you're an investor and you want to buy shares of WeWork, you might be able to do that in the near future. There has been talk of WeWork being acquired by a special purpose acquisition company, also known as a SPAC, and thereby becoming publicly listed. Now, as many of you may know, there was talk and there were plans to have an IPO of WeWork in the autumn of 2019, but that fell apart. And at the time, the company was valued at $47 billion. And after the implosion of the IPO for WeWork, the valuation went down to about $3 billion. But WeWork is in talks with several SPACs, and it seems like the valuation, if the company went public, would be about $10 billion. Now, WeWork has a new CEO, a veteran of the commercial real estate industry by the name of Sandeep Mithrani, who predicted that the company would achieve profitability in 2021. This prediction was made last summer. People were a little bit skeptical. But it is true that certain centers have been closed and concerted efforts have been made to cut costs for WeWork. And I mean, the business hasn't disappeared. Even during the pandemic, you could see how it would strengthen, how there would be demand for temporary office space, because a lot of companies have left their spaces, but they still need office space a couple of days a week. They may have been in 5,000 square feet. Now their employees are telecommuting. Maybe they had 40 employees, and maybe 7 or 8, 10, 15 of them need to have meetings every week, and they're not sure what the future is going to hold, so they go to WeWork, and they'll go sign an agreement, a licensing agreement for 3 months or 6 months, and there's going to be a lot of demand for flex space down the line, because companies are going to be reluctant for a while to sign long-term leases. I mean, even when the pandemic ends and conditions return to normal, companies may become accustomed to going into temporary space. Employees may be used to working from home, and they'll be happy going into a co-working space once or twice a week. But co-working is not going to go away. WeWork has access to capital. It'll likely become public in the next 6 months or a year or so, and they are going to remain as important players, which is very good for New York City, because WeWork is the largest commercial tenant of office space in New York City. And if the company imploded and closed all their centers, it would be a very tough blow for the New York City commercial real estate market. But apparently that is not going to happen. These co-working spaces are not going to disappear. There's been other interesting news about the co-working space. Knotel, a large co-working provider, has filed for Chapter 11. They have many centers in New York City, and they are being acquired by the publicly listed real estate brokerage firm Newmark. Now, Newmark does brokerage. They also provide building management, but they're major national players. So there'll be real synergy there when their tenants are reluctant to lease a demise space. They'll move into co-working facilities owned and operated by Newmark. When tenants in Newmark's co-working facilities need demise space, they'll be able to move them to other buildings in New York City. So you could really see how an acquisition like this makes sense. But I mean, it does show how the market for office space in New York City is evolving. There has not been a collapse of co-working spaces some people predicted in 2019. And of course, the market will continue to evolve, and it does seem like co-working space will collectively occupy more space in the future. If you found this content interesting or helpful, I'd be happy if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Metro Manhattan. Until the next time.